Stop wasting your time. How are you spending your downtime? Are you killing time or are you giving life to it? How are you spending your recreation or recreation? Your downtime has to be spent doing things to move you up, to become the highest, most developed version of yourself.
Successful people realize that they have an allotted time to perform a given task, so that they have to give it their absolute all to doing that task. Putting their heart and soul to any task that they do, no matter how small or how large it is. You need to ask yourself, what are you going to do today? But more importantly, you need to ask yourself, how are you going to do it?
Each of us gets to make a daily choice to play the victim or play the game. And if you're gonna play the game, I suggest you play to win. And like all games, life has a set of physics. There are things that work and things that don't work. Your job is to experiment until you find the vein of effectiveness.
Everything is about your decoder. The world provides the pieces, but it makes you the architect. You have the ability in your own unique way to change the world around you. The question is, do you have the courage to reach for it? Exponential growth requires instances of self-recreation, of evolution as we make our way forward. It's a continuous pushing aside of things we don't need to be doing, and a simultaneous deep dive into the things that bring us the most return. It's the lens, it's the decoder, it's the fork in the road, and you choosing which direction you will take.
You're going to have to make a decision about what you're going to do with 5 minutes here, 1 hour there. Today, there is a friend of yours who's going to call you and say, hey, let's go for coffee. It's just going to be 20 minutes. Today, there is a potential lover, an old flame, that's going to WhatsApp you and say, hey, you know what hey means, right? We all know. Hey! Not hi, hey! And you know what that means, and you're going to have to make a decision about whether or not to reply. And if you do reply, do you have a conversation with them? And if you do you go and have that hour coffee at that Mug and Bean for the South Africans, or the Starbucks for my global audience? And the real question is not about the hour. You see, the hour today spent committed to the accumulation, incremental indeed, but the accumulation of additional knowledge, skills, and competencies buys you a week 20 years from now. In other words, there is something you're going to do for 1 hour this week that, done right, will pay off for 1 week in 20 years' time. So as you make that decision about what you spend that hour on, realize it's not actually an hour in today's time. It's 1 week in 20 years' time. Are you willing to sacrifice a week of your life to see somebody that you don't want to see? Are you willing to sacrifice a week of your life to go to a meeting you shouldn't be in? Are you willing to sacrifice a week of your life to be in a space you shouldn't be in the first place? Time is not linear. It keeps to the true laws of nature, like most things. That which you practice, you get good at. And if you practice the efficient application of time, you compound that time. Look for the places in your life where you are wasting time. And ask yourself, how can I collapse time into the things that matter so I can buy myself time in future? And often, a lot of this time we waste doing silly things. It's that 1 hour you're spending on Instagram, liking stuff and resharing stuff or posting stuff. Guilty! Look at the areas of your life where there are inefficiencies, wastage, leakage, and pull that down in itself. This is time you're spending in conversations you shouldn't be in, meetings you shouldn't be in, emails you shouldn't be replying to, teams members you shouldn't be talking to, family members you shouldn't be entertaining, barbecues or braais that you shouldn't be going to. This is time you're spending on social media, doing and posting comments on things that have nothing to do with you. If you learn to collapse a second onto itself, the second compounds into a minute, the minute into the hour into the day, and the day into the rest of your life.